You want to start a business in your small town, but you're afraid to take the leap because you don't want to fail, like so many small business ideas do. So we're going to show you 7 business ideas to absolutely avoid as a new entrepreneur in a small town because of their extremely high failure rates. We will show you what these businesses are, why they will destroy your small town business dreams if you try to start one, and give you the inside secrets on how not to fail with your own business idea. We run several small town businesses ourselves and have helped many other small town entrepreneurs get their starts. We've seen what works and, more importantly, what doesn't. And if you stay to the end, we'll share with you a proven formula for coming up with business ideas in a small town that have the absolute highest potential to succeed. But first, before you go and lose thousands of dollars on a small business idea, we need to look at which businesses have the highest risks to them in a small town and why. The first business idea we'll look at has been a risk-filled dream crusher for years: restaurants. The best laid plans of opening a restaurant comes crashing down for 17% of entrepreneurs in their first year of operation. That number jumps to an incredible 61% after 3 years and a full 80% after 5 years. If your restaurant is closing in its first couple years of doing business, guaranteed you're losing your investment. How much of your investment? Well, on average, it costs $375,000 to open a restaurant, and that's not including ongoing operating costs. Every year, restaurant failures result in the loss of $3.2 billion in capital investment. So, why do so many new small-town entrepreneurs lose their shirts in this business? Well, those high initial startup costs are a killer, so cash flow is an immediate problem. Inflation is also a big problem, driving up your costs and keeping customers at home. Now, keep in mind, every small town needs places to eat, but if your restaurant isn't different enough from the competition, it's going to fail. Your town can only support so many pizza or taco places. The high price of rent, lack of staff, inexperience in the service industry, and inadequate marketing are even more problems waiting in the shadows for unsuspecting small business owners. While the restaurant business can be a risky gamble, the next small town business idea we're going to look at is equally dangerous. Are you one of those people who loves the idea of mastering a difficult skill and using it to show off your creativity? Maybe you've thought about making money from that idea too. Well, don't do it if that skill is photography. The photography industry is already highly competitive, with advancements in technology driving down the barriers to entry. With the ease of digital photography, a ton of people have turned their interest in photography into a side hustle, offering their services at a fraction of the cost of traditional small-town photography studios. This trend has led to prices being driven down, making it difficult for anyone to stay in the business. So, what makes an interesting side hustle a bad small business idea in a small town? According to one study, 60% of photographers quit their business in the first year. That number jumps to 85% by year 3. Digital photography has changed how people see pictures. Nearly 2 trillion digital photographs are taken every year. 93% of them are taken on smartphones. The result? A massive decline in professionally staged and posed photos. Cash flow is also a big problem. Wedding photography is a major source of income for many small-town studios and is typically in demand only in the spring and summer. The work and money dries right up in the fall and winter. So if amateurs stealing your lunch isn't enough, let's look at another business idea many entrepreneurs want to start in small towns that close as quickly as they open. Are you the type of person who loves going out with friends to enjoy a drink and maybe some music and dancing? Many inexperienced business owners think it's a fantastic idea to try to capture this feeling and make some money at the same time by opening a bar or nightclub. They're dead wrong. Just how tough is this business? The generally agreed upon stats are 75% of bars shut their doors in their first few years, jumping to as high as 90% in some areas. But even with industry experience, this business is littered with broken dreams and lost money. So what challenges are waiting for you out there? The high level of competition, for starters. Your town's limited population size can make it difficult for a new bar or nightclub to attract customers, especially when competing against long-time established venues. Also, customer preferences can change rapidly. Popular trends and tastes come and go. If you don't adapt, you risk losing customers. If you follow the trends, you're constantly investing more and more money. But despite all that, by far the toughest aspect of operating a bar or nightclub in a small town are all the rules. Your town likely has strict regulations regarding alcohol sales, noise levels, and operating hours. Violating these can result in hefty fines or even losing your business license. Now, if you thought opening a bar or nightclub was risky, let's take a walk down Main Street and pop our head in another small-town business idea that's waiting to entrap you. Have you ever looked at a traditional brick-and-mortar clothing store in your town and wondered how they keep the lights on? The people running them are often thinking the same thing. Competing with other clothing retailers is hard. Competing with online retailers is even harder. Over 14% of all retail sales are online. Of that, 45% is on Amazon. More people shopping online means less people walking in the front door of your business, even in small towns and rural areas. Online shopping has the advantages of convenience, 24/7 availability, and a wider selection of products compared to traditional retailers. Price comparison is also super easy. Keeping inventory that interests customers can also be a challenge. Clothing stores have to stay ahead of the trends and stock their shelves with the latest styles. Get it wrong, and you're looking at excess inventory and lost sales. And then you have fast fashion giants producing high-volume, low-cost clothes. It's hard to compete when the competition is selling their products for only a few dollars each. Consumers may get tired of the low quality and waste caused by fast fashion. But right now, these international clothing retail companies are thriving. But even if you can manage to make some sales, you have to deal with the culture of returns. Every year, customers return over $800 billion worth of merchandise, which translates to roughly 16% of total retail sales. That's a business environment not for the faint of heart, but it's nothing compared to the failure rate of this next small-town business. Around 81% of gyms and fitness studio businesses fail within their first year, according to one industry association. Why are gyms such a drain on entrepreneurs' bank accounts? Gyms require significant upfront investment in equipment, rent for large spaces, and staff. It's another small-town, small business that causes a lot of people to lose a lot of money when they close. But what causes this hardship? One of the biggest obstacles is the commitment level of the typical client. Gyms often struggle with member retention. Many customers only have short-term fitness or weight loss goals that don't translate into long-term memberships. Keeping membership fees competitive can also be a challenge. Gyms often get into races for the bottom, dropping prices just to get people to sign up. Competing to be the cheapest is always a lose-lose situation. And then there's the rise of at-home workouts. In recent years, people's fitness routines have been confined to their homes. They invested in equipment, changed their programs, and many simply haven't returned in the same numbers now that all the gyms have opened again. We've still got 2 more small-town businesses to avoid starting for you. But what do you think of our list so far? Let us know in the comments if you disagree, or if you think we missed one that should be on the list. Like a ship in a storm, this next small-town business is struggling to stay afloat, much less on course. And the waves coming over the deck are massive online booking companies. Many small towns used to have travel agency businesses in them. They weren't big, basically a small office on Main Street with a desk or two and a whole bunch of pamphlets. Those days are done, and anyone wanting to get into the travel business should be wary of this small business model. There are just over 42,700 travel agency businesses in the United States as of 2023, a decline of 2.5% from 2022. Even worse, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were around 75,300 travel agents employed in the United States in 2013. In 2022, that number dropped to 66,300 travel agents. That's a 12% decline. But we all know people are traveling again. So where have all those travel agents gone, you ask? Well, massive online booking sites are putting these small businesses out of business. The average traveler is already price sensitive, and airfare and accommodation are discretionary purchases. Travel agencies were already fiercely competing on price in a highly saturated market where consumers are attracted to the best deal, leaving those small-town businesses with razor-thin profit margins. The costs of small brick-and-mortar agencies and online platforms differ significantly. Online booking sites can use remote or foreign call takers, reducing their overhead, allowing them to earn higher profit. People can now simply go online, find exactly what they want, when they want, find the best price and pay. Not good if you have rent and salaries you need to cover. In short, unless your small business idea is physically guiding tourists on unique local or international trips, stay out of the middleman booking business. They've figured that part out on their own. So, if small-town travel agencies are floundering, this next small-town business has basically already sunk. But what is it? Everyone who lives in a small town loves to know what's going on. The problem is, no one wants to pay for that information anymore. Small-town newspapers are dying, no matter how important these businesses might have once been to our communities. One study indicates 1 in 5 local newspapers have closed since 2004. 2 more close across the United States every week. Traditional newspaper publishing is extremely expensive with high printing and distribution costs. Many established small papers and newcomers have tried moving online or using social media, but most fail to make money this way. Why? because the social media companies themselves are the main competition for ad dollars these days. People now get their local news from community Facebook groups or posts directly from the news source at no charge. Local advertisers can directly reach their customers through email lists or social media. Traditional newspapers just don't play a role in the community they once did because they can't make money. No money coming in, no business. People might mourn when a newspaper closes after 100 years of uninterrupted small-town business, but if the business could continue, it would. And that's the surest sign to stay away from this small-town business idea. And as promised at the start of the video, here's the secret 4-step formula to creating a small-town business idea that will thrive. It looks like this: problem plus solution plus picking top 3 plus testing equals winning business idea. In other words, you first need to identify some problems people have. Next, you need to come up with some solutions to those problems. After that, you narrow it down to your top 3 solutions. Finally, you test those 3 ideas in the real world and settle on your winning business idea. It's a different process for everyone, and as an added bonus, we have a free course where we walk you through each step at no risk to help you come up with your very own winning business idea and how to test it. Check for the link to the free course in the description below. And if you're still looking for some small-town business idea inspiration, just check out this next video.